Hi, this is Oakley, and I'm going to be explaining DNA replication. You may be asking yourself, how does DNA replication occur? DNA is copied inside the cell before it splits during mitosis, meiosis, or binary fusion. But how does that happen? Enzymes that are called helicases split the two strands of nucleotides to create a Y-shaped region that is known as the replication fork. I like to remember this by thinking of a fork in the road where one road is split into two. There is something special about the replication fork, though. When DNA replicates, DNA synthesis occurs in different directions. As the original strand of DNA is pulled apart, synthesis on one strand is moving in a way that follows the replication fork, while the other moves opposite of the fork. Another type of enzyme known as DNA polymerases add complementary nucleotides that are found floating all around the inside of the nucleus. While a new strand grows on each of the two split strands, covalent bonds form between the deoxyribose sugar of one of the nucleotide and the phosphate group of the next nucleotide growing on the strand. Hydrogen bonds then form between the complementary nitrogenous bases on the original and new strand. Finally, DNA polymerases are released, and two identical strands of DNA are created. This process of DNA replication is called semi-conservative replication. Because of how accurate DNA replication is, only around one error for every billion paired nucleotides occurs. This accuracy is a result of DNA polymerases that have a job to check to see if everything is correct in a strand of DNA. If they find an error, they are able to fix it by taking out the incorrectly paired cytosine and replacing it with thymine. But what about that 1 out of a billion chance? When the base sequence of the original DNA is different from the original, a mutation has occurred. Mutations can potentially cause the function of the mutated DNA to be damaged. Mutations don't just happen when life is being formed, though. They can happen because of radiation from the sun or because of chemicals. Skin cancer is a good example of this. Skin cancer occurs when a cell gets too much ultraviolet radiation from the sun, which causes it to become mutated. The first ever documented description takes us back to 2500 BC in ancient Egypt, which were described as sores on the skin. Some ways to protect your skin cells from cancer would be to wear sunscreen when outdoors and to avoid long exposure to the sun. This concludes my explanation on DNA replication. I hope that everybody leaves with some new knowledge today.